Hey there, English learners and friends. Welcome to Tales for Talking, where learning English feels like chatting with friends. Today, we're diving into something super exciting New Year's Eve in the United States. Trust me, you won't want to miss the hilarious stories, crazy traditions, and those awkward midnight kiss situations. But here's what makes our show special. While I share these fun stories with you, my friend here will help explain any tricky expressions or idioms we use. Plus, we'll pause for quick questions so you can practice your English speaking skills. Feel free to pause the video and answer in your own words. Don't worry, we'll give you some example answers too. Ready to learn English while discovering why some Americans wear adult diapers in Times Square? Yes, that's a real thing. And why your gym membership might be useless by February? Let's jump right in.
Remember, learning English is all about having fun, so sit back, relax, and let's celebrate New Year's American style.
Hey there, friends. I'm so excited to talk to you today about one of the most awesome celebrations we have here in the States, New Year's Eve. You know, that crazy night when everyone loses their mind waiting for the ball to drop in Times Square.
Let me explain some interesting expressions we just heard. Loses their mind means to become very excited or act crazy. The ball to drop refers to the famous New Year's Eve tradition in New York City where a large crystal ball descends at midnight. Question time. Why do you think New Year's Eve is such an important celebration in the US? Pause the video and try to answer. Here's one possible answer. New Year's Eve is important because it represents a fresh start and a chance to celebrate with friends and family while reflecting on the past year.
Man, I remember my first New Year's Eve party in college. We were all packed like sardines in this tiny apartment, counting down at the top of our lungs. And when midnight hit, someone popped open a champagne bottle that went absolutely bonkers. The cork flew across the room and knocked over a plant talk about starting the year with a bang.
Let's look at some expressions. Packed like sardines means being in a very crowded space. At the top of our lungs means shouting very loudly. When bonkers means to go crazy or out of control. Question. Have you ever had a funny moment during a New Year's celebration? Pause and share your story. A possible answer might be, yes, once during New Year's Eve, I accidentally wore my party hat upside down all night and nobody told me.
You know what's hilarious? All these New Year's resolutions people make. Every January 1st, the gyms are jam-packed with people who swear this is their year to get fit. By February, it's back to the regulars. I've been guilty of this myself last year. I promised to learn juggling. Spoiler alert, I can now successfully toss one ball in the air.
Let's explain some terms. Jam-packed means very full or crowded. To be guilty of means to have done something yourself. Spoiler alert is a funny way to introduce information that reveals an outcome. Question. What's your New Year's resolution? Pause and think about it. A possible answer? My New Year's resolution is to read one book every month and practice English every day.
Speaking of traditions, my personal favorite is eating black-eyed peas on New Year's Day. My grandma used to say it brings good luck, but between you and me, I think she just wanted us to eat our legumes. And don't get me started on the whole what you're doing at midnight is what you'll do all year thing. One year, I was washing dishes at midnight, talk about a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Let's learn some useful phrases. between you and me is used when sharing something private or personal. Don't get me started means you have a lot to say about something, usually in a humorous or complaining way. Self-fulfilling prophecy means when predicting something actually helps it come true. Question: what special foods do people eat for New Year's in your country? Pause and share. A possible answer: in my country, we eat 12 grapes at midnight for good luck, one for each month of the coming year.
And then there's Times Square. Oh boy, thousands of people standing for hours in the freezing cold, wearing adult diapers because there are no bathrooms. Yes, that's a real thing, folks. Just to watch a giant disco ball slide down a pole. But somehow, when that countdown starts and everyone starts belting out Auld Lang Syne, even though nobody knows the words beyond the first line, it's pure magic.
Let's explain some expressions. Oh boy is an exclamation showing strong emotion or emphasis. Belting out means singing loudly and enthusiastically. Pure magic describes something wonderful or special. Question: would you ever want to celebrate New Year's Eve in Times Square? Why or why not? Pause and explain. A possible answer: I would love to experience Times Square on New Year's Eve because it seems like an amazing, once-in-a-lifetime experience, despite the crowds and cold.
Here's a pro tip. If you're heading to a New Year's party, never, and I mean never, arrive right at midnight. That's like showing up at a restaurant when they're about to close super awkward. You want to get there early enough to get into the groove, maybe learn some embarrassing secrets about your friends, and definitely grab some of those little cocktail weenies before they disappear.
Let's look at some useful phrases. Pro tip is informal advice from an experienced person. Get into the groove means to start feeling comfortable and enjoying yourself. Cocktail weenies are small sausages often served at parties. Question: what's the best time to arrive at a New Year's party? Pause and give your opinion. A possible answer: I think arriving about 2 hours before midnight is perfect. It gives you time to socialize and get comfortable before the main celebration.
And let's talk about that moment when everyone suddenly becomes a choir singer at midnight. Should old acquaintance be forgot? And then it just turns into mumbling and humming. But you know what? It doesn't matter if you know the words, it's all about swaying back and forth with your arms around your friends, pretending you're in a Broadway musical.
Let's check out some useful expressions. Turns into means to change or transform into something else. Back and forth means moving in one direction and then the opposite direction repeatedly. Pretending means acting like something is true when it isn't. Question: do you know any traditional New Year's songs from your country? Pause and tell us about them. A possible answer: yes, in my country we have a traditional song that talks about saying goodbye to the old year and welcoming the new one with a hope.
Oh, and the kissing. There's always that awkward moment when the clock strikes 12 and everyone's looking around like they're playing musical chairs but with lips. Single folks either need to find a quick escape route or suddenly become very interested in their phone. I once pretended to get an urgent call from my pet goldfish. True story.
Let's learn some phrases here. Clock strikes 12 is a way to say midnight arrives. Playing musical chairs refers to a children's game, but here it's used to describe people looking around frantically. Escape route means a way to get out of an uncomfortable situation. Question: what's the most awkward New Year's moment you've experienced? Pause and share. A possible answer: once I accidentally wished Happy New Year to the same person 3 times in 5 minutes because I kept forgetting who I had already greeted.
And don't forget the day after January 1st, or as I like to call it, National Couch Potato Day. It's when half the country is nursing a headache while watching football and making promises they'll forget by Valentine's Day. The other half is at the gym, wearing brand new workout clothes with the tag still on, wondering why they thought this was a good idea.
Let's explain some terms. Couch potato means someone who spends a lot of time sitting and watching TV. Nursing a headache means dealing with or trying to recover from a headache. Tag still on refers to price tags that haven't been removed from new clothes. Question: how do you usually spend January 1st? Pause and tell us. A possible answer: I usually spend January 1st relaxing with family, eating traditional New Year's food, and planning my goals for the year ahead.
You know what's really wild? The time zone difference means that while we're popping champagne on the East Coast, folks in California are still working on their afternoon coffee, and our friends in Hawaii are probably still having lunch. It's like time traveling without leaving your couch. I always text my West Coast buddies Happy New Year from the future.
Let's look at these expressions. Wild in this context means amazing or unbelievable. Popping champagne means opening a champagne bottle to celebrate. From the future is a humorous way to refer to being in a later time zone. Question: how many time zones do you think exist in your country? Pause and explain. A possible answer: in the United States, there are 6 time zones if you include Alaska and Hawaii, which makes New Year's celebrations quite interesting across the country.
And before we wrap up, let me tell you about my absolute favorite part of New Year's: making those outrageous predictions for the coming year. Last year, my friends swore that by 2024, we'd all be commuting to work on flying skateboards. Still waiting on that one, buddy. But you know what? That's the beauty of New Year's. It's that magical time when we all get to dream big, hope for the best, and believe that maybe, just maybe, this is the year we'll finally learn to fold a fitted sheet properly.
Let's look at our final expressions. Wrap up means to finish or conclude something. Outrageous means shocking or extreme. Dream big means to have ambitious hopes or goals. Question: what's your prediction for the coming year? Pause and share your thoughts. A possible answer: I predict that in the coming year I'll become fluent in English and start teaching others what I've learned.
Well, friends, that's all for today. If you've enjoyed our little chat about New Year's traditions, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, or as we say in New Year's resolution language, make a solemn promise to click subscribe and actually follow through with it. And remember, whether you're watching the ball drop in Times Square or celebrating in your pajamas at home, the best way to start a new year is by being true to yourself. And maybe having a slice of pizza nearby, just in case.
And for our English learners, smash that subscribe button is a popular phrase used by YouTubers to encourage subscriptions. Follow through means to complete an action you promised to do.
See you next time, friends. Have a fantastic new year. And don't forget, if anyone needs me on January 1st, I'll be on my couch still trying to remember all the words to Auld Lang Syne.